is under one of my cockpit seats, locker. I'm not really quite sure what that is, or what that is. You got a fire extinguisher out here, swim ladder, a couple extra lines. So we got a life preserver back there as well. So these are all good things I don't have to worry about replacing. As you can see, the wood is really tired. It needs to be taken care of. Gonna need a new compass, but I've got depth. I've got healing degree, depth, space for something else I can use there, and wind direction. So hopefully all those work. If not, I got some fixing to do. Okay, and there's our nameplate. This is the view from the rear hatch. Okay, this looks kind of a harness. Extra gas can, exhaust, which is rubber hose, which is good. I've read that a lot of these older Tartans have that in metal, which would have to be replaced immediately. Okay, interior. So I got some wood latch lockers here. This looks like it was built in. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping these or not. Probably not, because it really takes up a lot of space on this aft berth. Oh, look at that. How are you? You're there. What are you, storm chip? We got a shelf up here, another cushion, and access to the aft portion of the engine. In this section, of course, you can't see anything because there's no light, but that's the gas can. Come around. Okay, this is our electrical panel. This is all going to have to be, I mean, as long as it's functional, this will get me out on the water this summer, but I'd like to redo this case and update it, make it look a little bit more updated. The electrical, based off on what I'm read and what I'm learning, and I know nothing about electronics, but from what I've been learning online, these caps here are not marine grade ends. It's a bit of a rat's nest, so I'd like it to be a lot more organized, but we do have some labels here, which is good, and I don't see very many connections that are doubled and tripled up on the same part of the bus. So I'm thinking I may not have to rewire the entire boat, but I would like to dissect a little bit of this when I'm organizing it so that I know what everything is. Maybe even draw a circuit diagram. And I'm not sure if these are marine grade cables or not. If they're not, then we do have to replace them. Okay, so switch for looks like it's a dual battery system, which means I've got AC as well as DC. Another fire extinguisher. And generator, battery charger, exhaust, and oh, look at that. Now that's what that is. Alright, so what we're looking at here, this is the centerboard cable. And I've read that these boats do have some problems with the centerboards. It's a centerboard keel hybrid. It's got a shoal draft keel, but it's a 3/4 length, so you do get the benefit of the keel down most of the boat. And if you need to point higher, then you have the option of lowering the centerboard. And I read in some owner groups that those centerboards have a tendency to fall out. Now, we're on the hard here. There's no way I can test for that. But maybe when they put it on the cradle before I drop it in the water this summer, I will test the centerboard then, drop it and see if any of the mechanics need to be replaced or if the centerboard needs to be redone. But that cable looks pretty corrosion free. Okay, this is always a good idea for those of you that don't know. If there is a hole in the boat, this is a very basic way to buy you some time by plugging the hole. If you don't have any sort of plugging, boat holing compound or anything like that on hand, you can plug that in and at least give your bilge pump a fighting chance while you call for help or arrange to abandon the boat. So you can see up here all that paint, that delam, the paint, all that's going to have to be redone. So I'm looking forward to getting a fresh coat of paint in here. First of all, taking everything out and just washing everything that I can, getting all the mold out, getting it smelling like pine sol or clean or something, and then getting a fresh coat of paint in. A lot of tartan owners have ripped this out. I really don't know what this is. It's supposed to be an ice box, but there's no electronics for it. So it winds up being a storage space, and that's what the current owner is using it for. But look at all this area back here. And I've seen examples of owners tearing this out, and now you've got another berth. They turn this into a whole other berth, or at least storage area. And if I decide to replace this with an electric motor, that's going to free up a lot of space, and I can remove the gas tank, and it's just, you got a lot more cubic feet of storage when you decide to do that. So on this side we have the saloon area. Okay, so this table doubles, it looks like a nap station. You've got some storage down there, and I have seen on other models, the companionway steps are up there right now, but I have seen on other models where, or other hull numbers, where the table folds up and attaches to the bulkhead there. And I think that's what I'd like to do with this. Alia, my wife, was telling me that she wants to refinish that. But just in terms of space, because this is not functioning as a berth right now, and it should be. But I don't see any way to break down the table, quickly. It's screwed in there. So I don't think it was designed initially to break down, although you do have shelf ledges there for that, so I'm not quite sure what the thinking was behind that. But obviously I want this area for sleeping purposes as well. Okay, so we've got some little nautical atmosphere there. Windows, this is probably, I don't know if it's going to have to be recaulked or not, but I mean, 50 years old, I don't know when the last time it was done, so just for peace of mind, I'm probably going to do it. We'll see how long my patience lasts when I'm doing all these projects. It's easy to talk about doing them, and it's quite another thing to figure out how you're going to do it. Okay, galley, yikes, that needs to be cleaned, obviously. So we've got that there, and this is why I don't understand really what that's for, because this is supposed to be, the ice box. I have found, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, we'll see. There seems to be some issues with safety, but the propane-based kitchen units for RVs seem to be very, well, they're attractive. So I don't know if I'm going to rip that out or not. What we have under here is just, yeah, see, that's just, to me, that's just dead space. Here, looks like that's where a lot of our wiring is coming through. But this, I mean, that's not, yeah. So, I think I can open up a lot by doing something with this. Either getting an electric or propane-based refrigerator and propane. Okay, I'm no expert, but sometimes your common sense. Look at that. Look at the deck. See how it's flexing? I'm guessing there's no backing plate underneath there, or if there is, it's not sufficient. Okay, now one of the things that I wanted to determine was the deck joint here is supposed to be something called a shoebox joint, and I couldn't figure out if the toe rail was one piece or more than one piece. You see how it separates there? It looks like the screws have been, yeah. So I can probably screw that back in as long as there's no water getting in the joint there. Okay, so here we are with the, all right, that answers another question. The jib track goes clearly through the wood into the deck. That's a good thing. You see how it's separating there?